Okay. Well, everybody, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. We never know where everybody's joining via Zoom. My name is Ayman Tarabishi. I am the president and CEO of the International Council for Small Business. And I'm doing this info session or webinar to kind of talk a little bit about our upcoming World Congress in Washington, D.C., and the plans that we have for it, explain to you a little bit the website and then to ask you guys questions or answer as many questions as you want, and then we can go from there. First of all, I appreciate you all joining the webinar. The webinar is recorded, so I will share it with everybody. Let me start first by saying thank you for being part of the ICSB global family or global network. It's really always appreciated, and it's also exciting to see kind of every year see new people coming in and getting people, returning people to also join us here. We had a very successful Congress in Cairo in November, led by Ahmed Osman in November. And that was really nice. We went to see the Grand Museum, the new museum that opened up. He held an excellent session with our partners at American University of Cairo. And we also visited ministries in Egypt. So we learned a lot about the ecosystem. This was a very successful Congress because in 2019, Ahmed also hosted us in Egypt. So when we go to Egypt and we are hosted by Egypt and Ahmed and all his colleagues, we always get class and elegance. So building on this, and I was telling Ahmed, building on Egypt, it's always good to build on Egypt and to continue our efforts. So this year we're coming back to Washington D.C. And we were here last in 2022, but we decided on Washington D.C. for many things, and is that the United States 250th birthday anniversary is also this year. So we said, it makes sense to kind of celebrate the United States birthday, but also the World Cup is coming here and in June, in the mid-June and all of a month or so. So we said, let's think about it. There's a big celebration happening in Washington, D.C. The World Cup is coming. A lot of people will be coming watching the World Cup, maybe spending their summer here in Washington, in the United States. And so we said, why not hold it in Washington? Because so they don't have to travel a lot, going to different places. So that was the logic, the idea behind hosting it here in Washington, D.C. And I'll talk a little bit about Washington, D.C. more. Um, I know there's a lot of things happening in the world right now. So everybody's aware of it. Everybody's aware of all the different dynamics are happening. I call this permanent whitewater. You wake up in the morning and you just don't know what's going to happen today. But I'm an optimist. I'm hoping that all things will figure themselves out. People that want to come will come. People that can't join will try their best or join us online. And so, saying this and knowing this, saying we have to plan accordingly. We can't just expect one thing, and if we don't get it, we get upset. We say, no, we have to be nimble, we have to be flexible. And the most important thing, in my view, I said we have to be both creative and innovative. And I'll explain to you what I mean by both. Creative is that we have to bring in all new types of ideas, all the craziest ideas that we can find. Let's accept them all. Let's bring them all here. Okay, because that's the only way we can come up with new innovations, which is kind of taking these crazy ideas, these creative ideas, and see how we can work them and how we can make them actually into reality. So the theme of this conference is kind of like the World Cup. And I have to say, I'm very still depressed that Italy didn't make the World Cup yesterday because I'm half Italian. So there's a lot of depression here happening here with Italy not making the World Cup. But we will celebrate. We will celebrate. We will tell the Italians still come to the US. There's another World Cup. You're welcome to come to, and it's on innovation and small business. And let's figure out how to make the Italian team better for the next World Cup. So, but then for those that made the World Cup, congratulations! It's going to be a fantastic event. A lot of fun teams coming. A lot of good teams coming. So, understanding this, so now you understand the context. If you are creative, And if you are willing to be a pioneer, explore new things, try new things, and to take a risk a little bit because a lot of things are unknown, right? Are flexible, are a social networker, and you like people, you like locations, you like ideas, you like to build new things. Um, this is the perfect conference because as a fundamental theme, as a fundamental plan, that's what I'm aiming to do. Okay, and that's the goal. So what does that mean for all of you? And I'll be very clear and I'll say it up front, and then I'll show you how it works, right? Um, and we tried it with ICSB, and we tried it years ago, and it worked. And we said this is our goal. And we don't keep, you know, if you have something successful, and you keep doing it year and after year after year, at some point you're not innovating. You're just repeating yourself. So for us, we said, but that's no development. That's not human progress. That's just doing the same thing over again with the same expectations, the same results, and you're content with it. So it becomes a checklist, a checkbox. So for us, in 2016, 2017 at ICSB, um, Kishan Kim and I, and then Winslow, Dr. Sergeant Winslow, and other people, we pushed a new idea, a new topic, a new research topic. And we said, you know, before AI, before anything that came out, we said, you know, we should be focusing on MSMEs, and we should be focusing on something called humane entrepreneurship, or in simple terms, we call it human-centered entrepreneurship. And I'm telling you, in 2015, 2016, everybody laughed at us. Different organizations, different colleagues, they said, "What is this? What are you all talking about?" You know, we're talking. You should be talking about entrepreneurial intentions. Should be talking about entrepreneurial orientation. You should be talking about things that we already know and we're doing research in. Why are you doing something different? Why are you talking about something that makes no sense? Well, that's why we're pioneers. Today, human-centered entrepreneurship or humane entrepreneurship is the word that everybody uses, especially in the era of AI. We talk about the human era that needs to place itself as more important. To a point, and I'll share one of the first good news here, is that my colleague, Dr. Kishan Kim, was invited to go speak at the Vatican in end of May and to have a special meeting with the Pope on the topic of human-centered entrepreneurship or humane entrepreneurship. Yes, that's breaking news. I've heard it 2 weeks ago. I was told about it, but we have reached to a point where organizations are listening to us, like the Vatican, and telling us, "Come present to us you academics, your researchers on this topic of human-centered entrepreneurship, and let us set up a meeting with the Pope, with you and Kishan Kim, that he'll be representing us there to talk about this topic that ICSB has created." So this is how far we got. And I'm using this to explain to you, I'm looking for the next big idea. Okay, I'm looking for the idea that when you mention it to your colleague or your friend, or to you submit it to a journal or to a conference, they tell you this is not mainstream, this is nobody knows what you're talking about, reject or decline or don't make a fool of yourself. You have a home now in ICSB because out of 100 ideas, right, we will get one good idea. One good idea that will change the world, like what we're doing today with human-centered entrepreneurship and going to the Vatican to speak about it, right? And that's what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for those novel ideas, for these, let's use the best word for it, the heretics that go against the standard and saying, "Hear me speak. I have something to say." So that's the goal, that's the objective. Now you understand what I am looking for and what we are planning to do. Now I'm going to share the website here so for you all to see it, and I'll explain to you a little bit about what we are aiming to do. Type here. Let me see if I can share this correctly. Um, and I will need someone to kind of just tell me if the screens keep changing. So let me go here. Um, okay, so Jungho, I see you here. Um, I'm going to allow you to talk real quick. And if you can talk, Jung Ho, do you see the slides? I need you to be a little bit partner of mine.
Yes, I can see it.
Great, thank you. Um, okay, so let me show you. This is our website. So it's ICSB Congress. Um, the icsbcongress.com. And we put everything on the website, so it's a one-stop shop everywhere. So our Congress will be held in Washington, D.C., on the premises of George Washington University, where I teach. And for those that came in 2022, these pictures that you see on the screen right here, which is exactly what we have today. And it's spring, so all the cherry blossoms are out, and they were a nice gift from Japan to us. And everything you see here is about 10-minute walk or a 15-minute walk from GW. So if you pick the hotels next to us, this is what you can walk to in 10, 15 minutes. And I have some colleagues that every morning at 6 o'clock would wake up because it'll be nice in summer and hot. They will go for a long walk and then come back, get ready and then come to the conference. So all these pictures are literally 10 to 15-minute walk from us, and so you know. Then we have announced some speakers here, and we will continue announcing speakers here. And these are different people you can see, and I'll mention some of them at the end, but there are some amazing keynote speakers coming to talk to us here, and we're going to add more and more to it. It's still April, it's still early, the world is going crazy, but somehow everything happens in the last minute. And I'm okay with that, even though I'm a planner. Um, so we put some pictures of the World Conference in 2022. So if you want to have an idea of what we did in 2022, I asked Sky, my partner, to put the pictures of what we did in 2022 in Washington, D.C., so you get a feel for it. And we'll try to replicate a lot of it in terms of places to visit and everything. Um, we have a call for paper, and I'll show you the website in a minute, in which you where you can submit the paper from. And then we because Washington D.C. is very small, and the best thing that Washington D.C. reminds me of, that when I visited, it's like Geneva, and everything is close by. You can literally walk everywhere to everything. So you can walk to the Congress, you can walk to the Capitol, you can walk to the White House, you can walk to the Potomac, you can walk to Georgetown. So and yet what's so neat about Washington D.C. and why I really like, 'cause I'm excited about Washington D.C. is we have a very vibrant ecosystem. We have embassies, we have NGOs, World Bank, IMF, IFC, multilateral organization, ILO, IMF, you name it, are all here, right? And everything is within a 10-block proximity of everything. So what does this mean? That means as we plan, and because GW is in the middle of it, and we are in the middle of everything, and everything is in the middle of everything, we are going to plan site visits, what I call them ecosystem visits. So we will visit, we'll visit the chamber, we will visit this organization, we'll visit this organization. In small groups, we'll plan different things and ask us to host us for a workshop, for a session. So you're not stuck in a hotel all day long, going from one room to the other. You're literally exploring the city, and you're exploring the ecosystem of Washington, D.C. And it's a win-win. You get to see Washington, D.C., and then they get to see or meet new people that they can establish relationships with. So that's the outer in look, saying we will meet, but we will meet in many different places and with different organizations. So I call it the modular approach. Yes, it's more work. It's more pain, to be honest with you, to plan it this way. But what's the alternative? I went to conferences where you're literally in one hotel the whole day or two hotels the whole day. Then at night you go to a restaurant and then you're back at the hotel, right? Or you're in one big convention center and you're stuck in this bubble the whole day. It's nice, it's convenient, but you don't experience it. And if you're spending time today, time and money and flying and coming and the hassle and all that stuff, I'm thinking I would demand more. I would want more. I wanna try new things, type of thing. Um, the academy is for students. I've learned this years ago. that sometimes these conferences get very stale. They get very dry. And it's because it's the same people and everybody's just in it, transactional, and they want to leave. And we're all teachers at the end of the day. We are all professors. We are all people that engage. So I always thought if you bring young people in, if you bring students in, everything changes. There's a life of its own to the conference. The conference becomes more lively, more energetic, more ideas. And trust me, students are trouble. They are trouble. But the benefits outlay the trouble because they come up with the innovation and the creativity and the energy. So I like to be around them because when you're running low on battery and you see them talking and laughing and joking and causing mischief, you get a second wind. You'll be like, oh God, what are they doing now? Right? And this is where the excitement starts, type of thing. Um, this is a key feature of us, and this is something I'm really excited about. Um, uh, about 3 years ago, we approached and they approached us, the organization, the Women Present organization. And we were mission aligned. They were promoting women CEOs. ICSB was doing the Women Entrepreneur Leadership Program. Um, and we saw a lot of synergies. And they came, a small delegation came to Geneva with us and came to our event at the UN MSME Day in Geneva, led by Rico Baldiger. And and there I started talking to the president, Camille Burns, and we had a couple of meetings, and we said we should do more things together. And we bring in the academia, the research, the SME focus. You bring in the women CEOs, the experience, the networking, and the practitioner based. And we saw this synergy, we saw this match. And so this year, we're trying it. They have an event in Miami in May 8th, their conference, their annual conference, which is amazing, right? And so they will come to Washington, D.C. And to host sessions for us in Washington, D.C. for women CEOs. So they're going to bring their experience, their network, their people, their energy, and to us, to Washington, D.C., and to hold events for us. So it's two conferences in one, but we're all together under the theme of innovation and creativity. So this is really exciting over here. The marketplace, as I mentioned, not just organizations that we're talking to, like the World Bank, IMF, we also have a lot of startups, incubators, and so on. So we will bring them in, invite them to come and present, right, as well, because it's a good networking ability here. And Bob Smith from GW and the Entrepreneur Leadership Office does a fantastic job with this event as well at GW. So in a way, this is all our activities. All of them are happening here. And if you go to our website, right, which is you here, I'll show you first research, which is the key part if you're going to come to present. Because the idea here is then, well, how do I engage, right? If you submit, and this is a call for papers and workshops and presentations, if you submit here, it's kind of like you're putting a placeholder in the system saying, I'm planning to come. Here's my idea. And don't lose me in the thing here. Just tag my idea and let me know if it's okay with this idea, and then I'm gonna come. Okay? So once you do this, then the whole system starts. So we have an idea. I hope it's a crazy idea. Okay? And then we say, okay, we like it. They're planning to come. Let's put it into the program as a workshop, as a paper, as a research, as an experience. And then let's reach out to them and start talking to them about something more. I think that's the important part, the something more part, right? And so we'll get you engaged. What about a panel session? What about a workshop? What about a presentation? So we start having these conversations with people that are willing to do it. Alternatively, if you just want to come and present, that's good as well, right? But the concept here is more. Everybody wants more, right? And we want more because we're looking for the next big idea to come, type of thing. So, and that's what excites me. It's not just, just come submit a paper, and if it gets accepted, that's great. You're in a book of proceedings and so on, and we go from there. And for us, it's more like come present because we want to see what it means. So how does this work? We have two journals, or now soon we'll have something more. Um, if you come present the paper, right? I told my colleagues, Eric Liguiri, an amazing editor, and Katia Passerini as well, anybody that submits a paper to to our Congress, a good paper, a decent paper, I tell them, let's work backward. They're going to take time away. They're going to spend money on a ticket. They're going to go try to get a visa if they don't have a visa. They're going to make a reservation at the hotel. They're going to come here. And they're going to spend at least $2,000-3,000 at the end of the day just coming to Washington, D.C. And the thing that they will give us is a document, as a paper, an idea, a research idea that we want to capture. So I said to them, let them come and present their paper, a research paper. Let them come and present. We'll know it because it's in the system. We know they came, so we know that they did the investment and the commitment, right? They presented, they networked with people, they got more ideas out of it, or people told them, "Oh, we don't like it. You need to make it better," and all that stuff. Then I told Eric and Katya and my colleague, I said, "This paper, the initial idea of the paper, needs to be published." I said, it's too much investment and time and effort to let it go. So I told them, every person that came and submitted a paper, we promise you we will publish your paper in our journal. You will get a DOI number. It will be in the system forever. You'll have it on your record, and it will last forever, for a lifetime or more, right? But you'll have to make it a little bit better based on the input. And I said, that's a fair trade. That means if they committed and if they're coming and if they did the work and they follow our recommendations, then in return, we publish their paper. It's a fair trade. At the end of the day, everybody wins. So in this system, what you have is you're not just coming to present a paper and you're done. You're coming to present to publish. Okay? And then I'll answer questions afterwards on how this works, type of thing. So here's the system. Here's the conference details. The deadline is April 15. I'm starting to get a lot of papers coming in. So we're gonna start announcing the acceptance letters starting today, type of thing, because it's work to get you guys into the program and to make sure that you're all are here. And then we have, so that's the research part. The student parts I explained to you. Then we have the Women CEOs program here, which is what really we're excited about here. Here's the full program, how it works, the type of what we're going to plan to do, the brochure and everything is all here. Then we have the pre-Congress events that we are planning to do. And I've asked Winslow kindly, and this is something that we'll be doing, is we're planning some really amazing site visits that I'll announce as well, type of thing. And then how to register and everything. So that's the plan. That's the intentions, that's the plan. Everything that I explained here is basically in person. Then I told Tammy, and Tammy works with us. She was working with us since she was an MBA student, and she started her own event planning company. And we were the first people to hire her. ICSB, again, you pick on someone, they have the passion, the vision, the dedication, and you invest in them. So ICSB was the first organization to hire a startup, literally, one person startup. And we told Tammy, we're going to keep you, we're going to hire you, we're going to invest in you, and you're going to be running our conferences, both in person. And the second part was a company called Huva, which was a startup as well. So we literally, and I'll take full credit of this with Tammy and Sky and other people, we told Huva, the company now that's amazing, is that we started with Alex DeNoble as well, if some of you remember him from California. We started the first virtual hybrid conference, all online, using Huva and during the pandemic. And the organization said, well, we never tried it. And we said, well, you're going to try it with us because we need to do the conference online. So a lot of stuff that they used was kind of based on the ideas of things we needed. We needed this, we needed that, we needed Zoom, we needed... So the whole event, and I told them the whole event is equally important in person or online. And then we have Ambassador Ojun from Korea. Says, Ayman, this year I can't come, but I see you're doing it online. I want to do a presentation online. You know how difficult it is to get him to even come and present? And now he's telling me that he wants to do a presentation online. So both work, both are equal type of thing. Um, then I added a little bit more to it. I said, you know, I want to make it a little bit more important, more interesting for me. So I said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do something a little bit more exciting, which is I want to create certificate programs and I want to launch certificate programs. And we've been doing them. You've been getting a lot of emails from us about the certificate programs that we're doing. So, I told Sky Blanks to start us off with the certificate programs last year. And he said, okay, Dr. Ardishi, I'm going to do it. I said, 3 days. I want you to do it in the evening. I want you to plan it. I want to see how it works. Can I throw him in the deep end of the water? Right? And of course, Sky does an amazing job with it. So when Sky did it, I said, okay, so Sky, it works. We have a model. People are coming. People are like it. I said, we're going to start doing more certificates. Right? So then in February, I started a whole series of certificates. And the first ones we started was the Entrepreneurial Leadership Certificate with Rico Baldegar. And I think Rico's here and he'll say some words. So we started this and we had a good amount of people show up to it. And I said, okay, one, maybe we got lucky. Two is definitely we're doing something right. Three is a trend. And the third one was the most complex one, was on innovation management, David Roach in Halifax. And so I called him. He goes, I'm beyond busy. I'm like, great. I already scheduled you. Right. And he did 3 days on his book on innovation management. And we had a lot of people from different parts of the world come. So we're going to redo these certificates in Washington, D.C. As well. So conference, paper submissions, site visits, students, women CEO program, and now sightseeing, social activities. That's the plan for Washington, D.C. Um, for me, to be honest with you, let me see if Rico's here as well. If he's not, yep, he's here, allowed to talk. Hi, Rico.
Hi, Eamon. Hi.
Good. I know you have a couple of minutes before you go teach class, but I'm going to make you a panelist so you can welcome everybody and tell them a little bit about what you're doing, and then we'll start answering questions.
Yeah, good, good. Good afternoon or good morning. Let's say whatever you are. Let's say what Eamon, let's say, explained just before about this kind of events, a really great experience. And what we did, in one hand, a good basic on, let's say, on some concept, or tools. But let's say the strategy is always to give you some ideas, insights in special cases. So what we in one hand did, we clearly from my Swiss background, I explain a company in a watch industry perspective, how they have been able, the company has been able to go forward even in a market with a lot of, let's say, we can say international challenges. So and our, let's say, strategy is always that we are dealing closely, let's say, with the company. So speaking as a CEO or sometimes even live case study, and it goes in the great direction what Eamon just explained before. This is part of, let's say, a mix on theory on practice. And we believe this is part of knowledge, let's say, will be, yes, say, make a difference in the future. And clearly about ICSB World Congress, I saw it, let's say 4 years ago. It was an amazing congress. I have really to say it. Let's say not only for AIM and even, let's say, it was for me a great experience to see the whole ecosystem in Washington. We have a lot of perspective on Washington, but that gave me a little bit a different approach. It's really a pleasure. And it would be great to see you in Washington. That's
Great.
fine for me. Yeah,
Okay,
good.
great. Thank you, Rico. Thank you, and good luck with your class. So that's the plan. I'm working with my team, and I put Tammy here. Tammy, say hi. I said a lot of bad things about you. So,
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to have you guys, and thank you for all the things that you said. I'm in. Everything is true. ICSB is my first client, the first one that gave me a chance, and I've been running my business now for 5 or almost 6 years now because of the first opportunity. So we're very excited to have you guys.
Tell tell them about Hoover, how it works. Give them a brief overview of Hoover, what will happen once they submit their paper. Explain to them so they understand the logic behind it. It's good for them to understand.
Yeah, Huva's our the platform that kind of holds the conference digitally. So once you guys are in the system and we build out the agenda, we'll add you to. So before the conference starts, we can actually add everyone there so we can start to engage with each other already. You can go into Huva, you can see the agendas, you can communicate with each other. There's community, so you can start to talk around different topics and you can start to create little get-togethers and plans to get together when you're there. You can even meet online on Huva. So there's a lot of stuff in Huva. So it's kind of the conference before the conference, and then our digital agenda once we're at the conference as well, and it's our communication system. So we can communicate with you guys even through Huva before and during the conference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. So
Mhm.
let me give you some other stories. So now we're talking to also our partners. So I'll give you some examples of our partners, real case studies, because I like to share it because I'm proud of them, and also to show you the opportunity. So Dr. Jung Ho So, a colleague of mine, came to a couple of conferences in ICSB, and he's a good researcher. He's an excellent researcher, and he met our publishers Taylor and Francis. And so they started talking. And then so they started talking, and then Michelle, which was our account manager, amazing person, but also Vicky and a couple of other people as well, started talking, and they said, "Hey, Jung Ho, why don't you work on a book with us on new venture creation?" And Jung Ho, I said he's a good researcher, but he's a little bit crazy as well. So guess what he's doing now? He's writing a textbook for our publisher Taylor and Francis on new venture creation. I am proud of this connection because it shows you that you come thinking that you're going to do a conference and then you build a relationship and then you start you then you're writing a textbook, which is an amazing experience and accomplishment here. So congratulations to Jung Ho and that. I also see some people here, and I see Martina that was here. Martina, I've met her before. And I've seen the work she's done. I've seen her presentations. And then I sent her an email saying, Martina, I'm writing a book. I need a book chapter from you. And she sent me a book chapter, and we've been working on it now forever, but it's getting close, type of thing. So these are what I call the secondary market, things that you don't plan for, but just happen because you have this innovative spirit. And I see Pierre here. Pierre has come to our conferences in New York with the UN MSME Day. He also comes to Washington, and he's our bridge. He's a connector, and he is the purest form of connector you can have, type of thing. Bringing people together is his strength, and he knows a lot of people. So that's just Pierre is just amazing for this. And then we see other people as well here engaged. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to ask you guys, there's a section here called Q&A or raise your hand if you have any questions. And then Ngozi, I see her as well. She's in and out of our ICSB, but she's planning to come. So if you have any questions or comments, put them in the Q&A section and I'll explain to you. And while you're doing this, I just want to show you one more thing. Um, so you have it. So, and I'm going to make this clear for everybody so you can understand it. So let me share the slide here. We put on our website, and already it's already available, the hotels. Um, so DC is going to be crazy, July 4. But I know these hotels. They're good people. They're right on campus, and we've used them for over a decade. So I called them. I personally called them. I called Heather from the State Plaza, amazing, amazing person. I called the other people, said, we're coming back. This is my usually my phone call. We're coming back. Hi, Heather. She's like, oh, hi, Dr. Terabishi. He's like, we're coming back. And she goes, how can I help? So that's our relationship. So I explained to them what we're saying and we're doing here. They said, if you put your conference on July 3, 4, and 5, the hotels are going to be $500, $600, just crazy, crazy hotel fees. But she goes, but if you come June 28, 29, and 30, and the 1st and the 2nd, I can give you rates of $150, $160, nice rooms, big rooms. I'm showing you the pictures here, right? With a kitchen and so on like this. And you get to experience everything that DC is experiencing, right? But not paying $500, $600 for hotels. So we said that's perfect. That's what we want. People are spending too much money and a lot of money has disappeared. Right? So I said, these are the good rates, these are the best rates. You're like in the middle of everything. So I said to her, I said, let's book a block for them and give them the discounts, give them everything that we do. Book it now so you're in Washington just around that time. And then you can come to the conference. Now, if you want to stay after that, right, there's so many different hotels, not in DC itself, like literally in Arlington, which is over the metro, that can offer you rates and this, and you don't have to pay the exuberant amounts that Washington D.C. is going to charge if you're staying for the 4th of July. So that's the goal. That's the plan of what we do. So hotels are there. The rates are incredible in my opinion. And there's probably other hotels if you want to say Georgetown, and there's the Marriott, there's the Ritz, there's depending on what you want to spend, type of thing. So that's about the hotels. The registration system is on, the paper submission is on. Um, so I'll stop here. Anybody has any questions or comments, please raise your hand or put it in the Q&A section. And of course, I recorded this so I can share it with everybody. Okay, I think we're good. Pierre said hi. Hello back, Pierre. Um, oh, okay, so Litwani, allow you to talk. Let me raise your hand. Okay, or you raise your hand, Litwani Nkondo. So you ask a question. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. For those of us who are in Africa, we won't even try to apply for visa. So I would like to know if it's going to be hybrid.
Yes, I mentioned it. We're going to have it hybrid, both on Zoom and online. So it's exciting to have it both ways, type of thing.
Okay. Which journals are you targeting?
Say again?
The journals that you are targeting.
The generals?
The journals. Because there are those that are accredited I'm in South Africa. There are some journals that are accredited in South Africa.
I don't
That's
know.
why I want to know the journals that you are targeting to publish.
Oh, the journals. Yeah, the journals. Our journals, the Journal of the International Council for Small Business and JSPM. They're all there on the website, so you can get more information. They're both indexed and approved, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck. I look forward to your paper. Um, any other questions or comments? Um,
Not
oh,
from me.
okay, great. Thank you. Well, nice to meet you too. Um, okay, so I guess that's it. It's recorded and we'll play it and we'll post it online for people to see it. So now you understand the scope, the magnitude, the mindset, the master plan behind it here. Um, I'm happy with 50 people to show up to 500 people to show up, and I'm more into the substance and the people that come and the ideas that come. And the world is a little bit kind of dynamic, as we say. So we're figuring it out as much as you all are figuring it out. But we have a good organization, good people, good ideas, good journals, good publishers, um, good board. So at the end of the day, whatever is good inside, the ingredients are good, something good is going to come out. And that's the plan. Oh, we have Ajena. Let me allow you to talk. Hi, Ajena. I hope I pronounced it right. You can speak if your mic is on.
Hi, hello, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Hi.
Okay. I have a question actually. Maybe you mentioned that, but maybe I missed, so because I didn't get from the beginning. So is
Mhm.
there any financial support for the less
No,
developed countries to
no,
attend?
no,
No?
no, none, none. No. I wish we did, but I said money is running out everywhere. So we don't have financial support, unfortunately. We're keeping things as basic as possible, but no financial help. Sorry.
And
Um,
where I can find the registration
yeah,
fee or this
yeah.
information?
ICSBcongress.com.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. All right. Again, financial support is difficult these days, but it's difficult for everybody. So just to let you know, we try to do things. I know Sky did a webinar yesterday that was very successful, and that was no charge to it. So things that we can do and kind of share, we do things that cost us money, we have to charge, basically. So that's just the reality of it. Okay, everybody. That's it. I hope this was very informative. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your commitment and effort. I appreciate you all coming. We'll share it with everybody, and I look forward to seeing you in person or online and for the ICSB Congress. Thank you, everybody. Bye.